Kobold, you argue all the time.
I do. I argue all the time in this hobby, and sometimes it causes drama and spirals out of control, even when I'm constructive with it and I try to be nice. People really love this game, and a lot of people don't like it when someone looks at their favorite game with a critical eye, especially coming from an influencer. I have 100k subs. I'm viewed as someone who has authority. That's really why I'm hated on sites like Reddit, unfortunately. Of course, it's not everybody, but you know, sometimes it looks like it's a lot of people. Oof. I really wish this wasn't the case. I want everybody to like me, of course, but I also want to challenge the norm and optimization itself for discussion. That's one of the reasons why I made this channel. It's interesting to hear opinions and ideas that's not a centrist point of view. And it's also really fun to hear really bizarre rules. There's people who don't like that though. They view it as like an attack on the game. So I've made my bed and I have to lie in it.
What do you have against centrist views?
This isn't about politics or anything. There's just this group of people who have like this really weird opinion. And I didn't know what to call them, so I went with centrists. It was the best word for them in my opinion. Anyways, centrists aren't regular players or anything. And normally I have nothing against them. They can have opinions. But the thing is, everyone in the D&D community already agrees that almost everything in the game is viable. This game is really easy. I don't care if you pick something I think is bad. It's probably viable. It's fine. But in discussions about optimization, it's annoying. Like, clearly some things are better than other things. And there's some moves that are better than other moves. Regular players agree with this too. Centrists don't like that. Fireball is better than Lightning Bolt, obviously. Lightning Bolt is a line, and if you hit two people like this, the guy in the back has cover because of the guy in the front, which is a +2 to dex saves. That lowers the average damage. Fireball doesn't have that problem, so Fireball already won, and it's a bigger AoE on top of that. End of video, am I right? Centrists don't like that, so they will argue in a long-winded way that Lightning Bolt is good because it's viable. And it's like, wow, really? Everyone already agrees with that. Bad spells can be viable, like come on. The new spiritual weapon is a bad spell, but it's also viable because it kills people. Burning Hands is another example. Damage is damage. It's viable, but it clearly sucks. Fireball doesn't need any additional features or spell help like Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is annoying without a Phantom Steed, for example. Link in the description if you have no idea what that is. Let's move the discussion. Lightning Bolt is an okay spell on its own, but if Fireball is on the same list, then it's bad.
Kobold, you should probably put the viable thing in disclaimers.
I believe I shouldn't have any disclaimers. This is common sense stuff. Anyways, what I just said is controversial. If majority of people disagree, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with different opinions. The only thing I care about is that you understand the point of view and you had a good time with the video. Dungeons and Dragons is just a game. This isn't politics or anything. My video probably won't even affect you. Go pick Lightning Bolt, it's fine. I don't care. But like I said at the beginning, people really love this game, and if you say something controversial with confidence, especially as a content creator who has influence, you're going to get a lot of hatred. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Angry bards on the internet will forge monstrous stories about me no matter what, which is fitting because I am a monster. I'm a lawful evil kobold who worships Tiamat and is on a mission to corrupt you. Rawr. But enough about me and the Shadow the Internet casts. The tables are more important than me and the internet. Who cares about my drama? The true meta is the table. We gotta keep you in the game. We gotta talk about you. You. Table, table, table. Today we're gonna optimize creating constructive arguments at the table, which is the most optimal move most of the time, if you have better ideas than your companions. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where we love Discord.
We have a Discord server. We post a lot of gators there. Link in the description.
Speaking Speaking of gators, this video is sponsored by D20 Cruise, where you get to play tabletop RPGs on a cruise ship for 5 days sailing from Port Canaveral, Florida.
The magical land of the gators.
The most magical land in America. This is a cruise event where all food and lodging is included with private shows and gaming areas. Not only do you get to go on a real-life adventure on a massive ship, but you also get to go on tabletop adventures with professional DMs with epic campaigns. World Anvil is also going to be there, so there's going to be a lot of really good games and DM optimizers to learn from.
Guys, you should probably not argue at these tables.
Yeah, you should not argue here. This is not like your personal game or a game on the internet. This is a vacation game run by incredibly professional DMs. What I recommend you do here is just go with the flow and have fun. Take notes on what the DM does. Maybe you can bring that same professionalism to your own game. It's optimal to learn from others. Maybe they have tricks that you don't know about.
Learning is optimal.
Indeed, and you'll make real-life gator friends along the way. The adventure begins on April 14th, 2025. Check out event.cruise and start planning your getaway adventure. Link in the description.
Guys, they also have a Discord just like us.
We'll link them too in the description. Now, back to arguing. First of all, let's talk about the obvious thing. Stick to the game. Do not argue about like real life stuff or personal things or politics. Just stick to the game. Nothing else matters. I know you might mean well or something like that, but it is really not worth the battle. Also, be very careful with battling on the internet and then meeting up at a table on the same day. That includes D&D rules, by the way. That might be a strange one coming from me, but I'm a content creator. You're probably not that. From my experience, and well, from others as well, it actually sours the table because you enter into the table in a sour mood. You're also gonna think about that negative interaction throughout the whole game. It sucks. You need to come to the table at the best mood you can. Eat a pizza or something if you're bored. Look at memes. That's probably better. Now, let me tell you a story. 2018, Xanathar days. I played at a random table on the internet. We played together for a year, starting from level 1 and got to 10. Random strangers. We of course became friends. Good game, happy ending. I talked to one of them yesterday. He's playing Pathfinder now. Anyways, there were no big problems at the table. Just small ones. We argued a lot. Me and the fighter in the group always had fights about short resting in dungeons. The battle master was very liberal with his resources like action surge double dashing, which is awful by the way. I told him that. He still disagrees. Anyways, throwing out resources like that is why he wanted to short rest all the time. I didn't want to do that because of the random encounter table, and to be honest, the features he picked weren't that good, and everyone else was fine with their resources, so we could push on just fine. We went back and forth all the time. The other players were mostly neutral, they didn't really care. Arguments like this are fine, it's just team stuff. It's related to our game, and it's not heated or anything. If you lose the argument, then whatever. You probably won't die. Almost everything is viable in the easy creative sandbox game. Like, come on. Anger isn't viable, though. So if you get mad, you're actually making a worse play. You're griefing the party. We have to keep in mind, anger is suboptimal at tables and will ruin everyone's experience at the game. It really sucks the immersion away, and then the tabletop magic is gone. Not only do you say really stupid things when you're mad, but you also make really stupid choices. Negativity is very infectious, so it's bound to spread, and if it spreads too much, the table can die. Losing your own character, which I doubt will happen, is better than killing off the game. So whatever you do when you argue at a table, do not get mad. Like, please, do Do not do it. Now, of course, this is assuming you're playing at a reasonable table, because those are the only ones that survive. But there will be times at a reasonable table that there will be unreasonable episodes for you. That just happens. And by the way, like, if you play at a table where you're just always secretly mad, I recommend considering leaving the table. This is just a game that it shouldn't make you mad. Being mad at the fun game isn't fun. Here's what I always do when I argue in the game. I say we do this, and then I detail why we should do this. You have to make it constructive and use tabletop etiquette like a gentleman. That's optimal. You can argue why we should stealth here, or warlock cast this spell here, or fighter focus fire this enemy. All of that is fine. All of this is team stuff. You shouldn't be afraid to voice team strategy in the team game. If you force control or get mad, then that's obviously too much.
Guys, if you get mad in front of me or my friends, I'm gonna call you the R word.
Yeah, Gator doesn't like angry people.
But Koopold, what about rules arguments?
When I was a teenager, I played a lot of Pathfinder 1. It killed every single game I played in, and majority of it wasn't my fault, I swear. I know I have an infamous reputation with rules, but I keep it on the internet because it's interesting. I don't bring that same energy to the table. If the table says no to rest casting, then I won't do it. I just want to play the game. Come on, it's been a week. But anyways, it's basically the same approach as I mentioned before. The easiest is just to take a picture with the snipping tool and then underline the rule. If they say no after that, then that's usually where I give up, unless it ruins my build or something, which has happened before. One of them is a really funny story, but I'm saving that for the bad faith reading video if I ever make that. I do absolutely think you should argue for rules, but be very careful because if you push too much, it can sour the table. Once the table is soured, you're not going to get anything. It's not worth the battle. Anyways, that's basically it. It's pretty straightforward. Be constructive and use tabletop etiquette. Don't get mad. End the video.
Koopold, why did you bring up yourself and the internet at the beginning?
I thought it would make the video more interesting. That's it. Sadly, it's not useful to viewers besides transparency. You're getting advice from somebody who's controversial in the community. But in general, like, the tabletop community itself is the best community in the world. And it's full of good and warm people who follow tabletop etiquette, even outside the table. They have to be like this, or else their tables die. The internet is sadly not very good at this, in my opinion, but it can be eventually. And when it does, you'll have even more games out there. And these campaigns will last very long, because majority of tables will understand tabletop etiquette. If you did something bad, like, I don't know, you end up in a D&D horror story, it's not the end of the world. You just pick yourself up and do better. I'm willing to meet at the middle point for most things. Internet speak is just internet speak. And this is just a game we love. Let's just be optimal gentlemen and just play the game. End of video. By the way, me and Gator want to join more D&D games, so we cooked up this brilliant plan to duplicate ourselves into these dices. The project isn't fully ready yet, but it would be nice if you followed it on BackerKit. Anyways, thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.